Got it?
Every time I try to mute it, I can't. There we go. Got it.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, let's do it again. 3, 2, 1, and welcome to another episode of the Hood Grace Podcast. This is your boy, Rudy Rubio, pastor of the Reformed Church of Los Angeles in the city of Lynwood, with my boy, Carlos, and I'm going to let you say your last names. I'm going to say Gaxiola or Gaxiola, of Identity Barbershop, as well as Reach Fellowship. And I'll let you introduce yourself, Carlos.
Well, my name is Carlos Gaxiola, and I'm a husband to my beautiful wife, Yesenia Gaxiola. I got 3 children as of 2 weeks ago.
Woo woo.
Yep. Dominic, 6-year-old, about to turn 7. I got Lucas, my 2-year-old. And then I have my beautiful princess. Her name is Olivia Grace, which is a couple weeks old. So, yeah, father of 3. I'm a member of Reach Fellowship in Long Beach. We meet at Jordan High School with Pastor Damon Horton. And,
Nobody knows who Damon Horton is, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody knows who Damon Horton is.
Yeah, I know. He's just some pastor.
D.A. Horton. People know who D.A. Horton is.
Well, I know him as Damon.
Yeah, I know,
so,
I know.
Yep, D.A. Horton. Yeah, I'm a owner of Identity Barbershop.
Mm-hmm.
Been cutting hair for 19 years. So
Where's Identity Barbershop?
Bellflower Boulevard, downtown Bellflower, right across the street from Steelcraft.
Right across the street from Steelcraft.
Yeah,
Shameless plug to
so-
Steelcraft.
Yeah, so been there for about 2 years, 2 years and a half.
Dope. And so how long have you and I known each other? We haven't known each other all that long.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Care to elaborate?
We've been knowing each other for about what? About 4 years?
Something like that.
4 years,
Maybe
roughly.
A little more, yeah.
A little more. Safe to say 4 years. But we actually have met back when I had just probably graduated from high school or ending senior year of high school.
But I was a whole different person.
Oh man, it's that's why yes and no.
Yeah, I was a whole different person back then.
I think we both were.
Yeah.
We both were in you were. I met you through some high school friends that I grew up with, and you were much older than us. So, but
Whoa, relax.
I mean,
relax. I wasn't that much older.
not that old, but there was no reason why we should have even known each other aside from our friends and their brothers knowing you. And this was back over in HP.
Dang,
Back in the days.
HP.
I don't know how much I can say, but
Say whatever you want, for real. Like, this is transparent. This is open. There's no like agenda here.
no, I don't know how much I can really say
No,
because
go
I
ahead,
don't want.
No, go for it, for real. Like, say whatever.
Yeah. So me and my buddies were into just finding every way possible to make money. To make money, and whether it was selling clothes, whether it was selling Jordans, whether it was selling anything we could get our hands on. Jerseys, anything we could get our hands on, we could sell. And we ended up in Huntington Park, meeting one of the biggest distributors for anything we could get our hands on to sell, which was you.
Dang.
And but didn't really realize it till who you were, in a sense, till. Well, the first day I met you there is you walked in with a Laker jersey, with some glasses, shaved head. I mean, tattoos ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And thick gold chains.
Yeah.
And just walked by us while we were there at the shop. And that's what I remember of you, meeting you.
That's crazy.
And my buddies were telling me, "Oh, that's the big homie right there. That's the big homie. All right, cool." And that was then. It was just a short conversation, nothing crazy. In and out, we bounced, and then I don't think I saw you again after that. I don't believe I did.
Because actually, those two friends and myself both got busted
at
the same time on the same day for some of the same things.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. And then I remember, if memory serves me correct, I think it was Adam Cunningham that posted something, or him or James Iglesias, one of them two cats.
Oh, somebody posted something.
Something
and I was wearing James' hat.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wearing James' hat that he had gave me. And you commented, I was like, "Yo, I know that hat.
Yeah.
That's my boy's brand."
Yeah.
And somebody had posted something about me cutting their hair.
Yeah.
And then you asked where was the shop at where I was working at the time. It was in Downey.
I don't know why I ain't got no hair, bro, but
Hey, bro, but you said, yeah, I'm gonna come see you one day, and out of nowhere you came there. I think it was that same day or the next day. So you just rolled up, and yeah, we started chopping it up. You gave me an interrogation of what was my theological positions, where was I going to church, and I told you I was going to CFBC. So then you laid back because I was with some good teachers. Shout out to Bobby Scott and Pastor Kid,
and
yep, and everybody at CFBC. So we started chopping it up, but it wasn't to the second appointment that you came through when we just started getting more into some deeper conversations, and. I don't know if it was somewhere where I saw on Facebook that there was like an acquaintance with my buddy Albert.
And
his brother. Grew up with them guys. And I asked you, how do you know them?
Yeah.
And you just gave me the scoop. We go way back from here, so and so, and these nicknames and so and so. And it wasn't until you told me who you were when I was like, what? Well, first you told me the story of what happened, how you were in jail, how God saved you by His grace alone, and in
a barbershop, I was saved by grace alone, through faith alone, and Christ alone, through the glory of God alone.
And it was another conversation of just the sovereignty of God, and how He saved you, and then how He I came to faith as well, and that's when I realized like, I know who you are.
Yeah,
you're such and such, and I remember this day, and so and so, and it was just for me, it was amazing for me because I knew who you were.
Yeah.
I knew what you stood for. I knew where you were coming from.
Where I used to be at, right?
Where you used to be at, where you were coming from, and where you're at now.
Yeah.
At that moment in time where I was like, wow, it's just just the redeeming hand of Christ, and how they could take somebody who people just have thrown to the side, never has a shot, and will never ever get his life back on track. And now it's like, look at this.
And it's funny because I'm doing the same thing I was doing back then. Back then I was leading a neighborhood. Now I'm leading a church. I'm trying to lead a community. Last night, my wife and I went out to dinner with the homie Chris Brosette, another Acts 29 guy, and his wife. And we went out to like downtown LA and we had a great time, bro. And we were talking about our past, like similar past, and to see like just the hand of God, like looking back and reflecting on how just we could almost visibly see the hand of God upon us for all the different circumstances and situations in our lives where we shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Like, really, we should not be here. So, I don't know, it was dope for me getting a chance to meet you and seeing how you would use your barber chair, as a discipleship tool, resource to talk to people. And in situations where there are like some pretty tough situations to try and do that. Because, I'm not going to get into all the details. I'm not trying to offend people or any specific population group specifically, or anybody for that matter. But the gospel is what the gospel is, and sometimes our beliefs, our faith is offensive to people in their lifestyles that go contrary to the gospel. So I know barbershops, that happens a lot, bro, with some of the stuff that goes on there.
Yeah, man, the barbershop is just, it's an outlet for information.
Yeah. Not always good information.
Yeah, every information.
Yeah.
Good and bad. And, it's just, the barbershop's always been the barbershop.
Yeah.
And every type of conversation goes down and every walk of life goes in there.
Yeah.
So, there is a balance that one has to carry, to be able to minister in that square, in that space.
How did you get into barbering?
Man, it was my dad. Well, first of all, my barber career started when I was a little kid. When my brother Urban, we found some scissors and I just started cutting his hair when we were little
Cut
kids.
your bangs and stuff.
So I just butchered him up when we were little kids.
That's funny.
So I started there. And then after that, I would watch my front door neighbor cut hair, and I used to say to myself, one day I'm gonna be able to cut hair because it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. People are going to him. And one day when I was 16, my dad rode up to the house with some clippers, and he just said, "You know what? I'm tired of waiting at the shop.
Yeah.
You're gonna be my barber now."
Wow.
And I gave him the sickest bowl cut you can ever give somebody. And the sad part about it is that we got video of it because my brother came out on his wife's quinceañera.
That's funny, bro.
My brother's been with his wife for about 20 years or something.
Yeah.
He came out on her quinceañera and there's video and footage of just my dad, dancing around with a bowl cut. And yep, that was my bowl cut. So
how old were you when you gave your dad that bowl
16.
cut? 16. Wow.
I think I was like 16 or something like that.
I didn't even try to shave heads at 16.
Yeah, so that happened, and yeah, I just started cutting hair from there. Didn't really take it that serious. Ended up graduating. I was cutting, people at the house, and then ended up graduating, and I got a job over at Nimitz as a head basketball coach.
Okay.
And all the little kids, I just started cutting them up. Started getting my practice on.
Hey, fool, you want a free haircut?
Yeah, it was free. We would finish practice, and we were in the locker room just fading all of them up.
Yeah.
And then after that, I ended up just going to my neighborhood barbershop, in HP.
Magdalena's?
Nah, Benny's.
What's just
Benny's barbershop. It was on Gage, in between Newell and Hollenbeck.
Oh, by Mexico 86.
Yep, right across the street.
I used to live on Hollenbeck by Solid Park.
Yeah, right across the street, and I used to cut up a lot of your boys too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I went over. I told him, look, I'm starting to cut hair. I want to learn how to cut hair the right way. You've been cutting my hair forever, and teach me. Can I please learn?
Yeah.
And he goes, pick up that broom.
Yeah. That's
So
how
I
you
was like,
start.
all right, cool. I started just sweeping, but my sweeping days didn't last long because the shop got packed, and I started cutting hair by the end of the day.
Wow.
Yeah, you start cutting, and I rolled up with a shoebox.
With all your
with like
stuff?
a clipper and a half. A clipper and a half because they didn't even work that good. So clipper and a half, and he just taught me the ropes.
Yeah.
Taught me the right way, and I just started cutting hair from there. And yeah, man.
That's dope.
It started.
So you went from chopping up your brother's hair, giving your dad a bowl cut at 16 to now being a shop owner, and I would say a successful shop owner. I don't know the budget and what the numbers look like, but based on the amount of barbers I see in there, the traffic I see in there, and the stuff happening there, and I don't mean just business. I mean like relationships.
Yeah.
So for instance, everybody knows I'm a church planner. Y'all are church planners, right? But I almost see your shop like a church planting shop for barbershops, right? Like I see some of the friendships that have started, like with Gilbert Villalobos, a beautiful loser.
Shout out to
Mike.
Gil.
Shout out to Gil and
Mike.
Mike, Ben Fresh Mike, and like I see these dudes having been with you when you started, and now they've gone out to start their barbershops, and I see them doing some of the same things you were doing. So it's like you're not just impacting Bellflower, now you're impacting the other side of Bellflower. Where's Mike at?
Mike's in Downey.
In Downey, you know what I mean?
Mike's in Downey.
And the people that they're like, so it's dope, bro, to see it like replicating itself. You know what I'm saying? I know not every barber is Christian. Some are at different. If they're Christian, they're at different levels of maturity of Christianity. Yeah. But I see dudes trying.
Hey, yeah.
I remember you and I had a conversation, right, when I was getting ready to leave Bellflower, and you kind of looked at me like, I was like, hey, bro, like, do you have a barbershop you could recommend in Lynwood? You were like, oh, like, serio? Like, that's you gonna leave me? But it's like, I see the way you and other people have used their shop, their spot, their platform, if that's what we want to call it, like for the kingdom, bro. And I remember going into Global Cuts right here in Lynwood with Fernando, and he's the one that took care of me the first time, and it's like, I ain't got no hair, bro. Look, like I ain't got no hair, but it's like, hey, can you fade up my beard?
I have a beard.
Can you hook up my beard and this and this? And now Fernando and I got a good relationship. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I remember connecting you and Gilbert, right? Because I was discipling Gilbert's mom, and his in-laws are a part of our church plan, not just church plan, our leadership team. And now Fernando at Global Cuts and I have a good relationship. We started a Bible study, and he's using his influence to start like talking about God and his faith, and he's learning and growing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for me, just to see opportunities like that not slip through the cracks and be used for the kingdom is like dope, bro. So I congratulate you, man, for what you're doing.
Thank you.
I applaud you for what you're doing. Well, what are some of the greatest things or victories that you can say, like, man, I just thank God for this through the barbershop,
Oh, man. Where can I start? Just having the opportunity to have an actual space. It's a win already. Whether how far or how much success we have, it's already a win. Just to be given the opportunity to try to be able to. I mean, I've been doing this for 19, 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, people look at me and like, for real, you've been cutting hair for that long?
You look like you're more than 21.
Yeah, right. But
that was a compliment, by the way.
Thank you. It wasn't a shot like earlier. The one I took at you. No. But no, it's just, I've been doing this for quite some time, and I've worked with different people, and I've seen how different barbershops have been ran. Mm-hmm. So I think one of the, aside from the grace of God,
yeah,
because we know that none of us are perfect, and I made so many mistakes since I opened up the shop.
Yeah.
That I've been able to have the scriptures be able to guide me and be able to, be able to learn how to treat people. That's first and foremost, that how you treat the people that you work with. Are they people that work for you, or are people that you work alongside with?
And how do you treat people that have completely different worldviews than you?
And that's
on a day-to-day basis.
I think that's probably one of the most challenging things that can go down in the barbershop, or just as a business owner in general. Because I'm sure there's other business owners that are struggling with the same thing that probably I am. And that's the balance that we got to carry, that sometimes you go home eating you alive, because sometimes you want to say some things and sometimes you can't say some things. Sometimes you got to be more patient.
Which fight to pick, which battles
there's a lot of them.
which not. Yeah.
There's a lot of them daily. But I think one of the most grateful things that I am for is that the opportunity to open up a shop, to create a space where people can come in from whatever walk of life and be able to experience the love of Christ.
Amen.
That's probably one of the most rewarding things that I have. Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the most rewarding things. Now, no matter where they come from, that they get to experience the true, genuine Christ that's preached in the scriptures.
But let me ask you a real question.
All right.
A self-examination question. Would you say you've always given the best example at your shop based on some of the difficulties of it?
Nah.
And that wasn't a trick question. That's just keeping it real, keeping it 100.
Not at all, bro. Not at all. And I think I wrestle with that on a daily basis. Good. And it's not even only in the shop. It's at home.
Everywhere.
It's at home.
Yeah.
It's in my son's baseball field.
Yeah.
It's in with my.
What you mean, coach? What you mean?
Yeah. or with my toddler.
Yeah.
That. Oh man, that's the one that actually, gets the most.
Not the baby, the toddler.
The toddler, the
Lucas.
2-year-old. Yeah. Man, that's my beautiful baby right there. That one.
Las canas verdes.
No, they're already out, bro. But it's just every area of life. No, man, it's just when you read and you see, it's like, there's just humbles you. It's like,
Hey, for anybody who's watching right now live, if you've got a question or comment for Carlos or for myself, feel free to type it in the comments. Feel free to ask. What's up, Eddie Vinny RS? He's saying what's up. My boy Chris Gottfredson in Northwest Iowa is saying what up. I'm killing the sabbatical. Like he's on my bumper, bro. And I need people like him in my life. He's a good friend. Cause I'm on sabbatical right now, but I'm on sabbatical from the church, not life. And this is therapeutic for me. Gloria HP in the house. A beautiful young lady by the name of Yesenia Gaxiola said, "Hi, handsome." I'm assuming she's talking to you.
I think so. I hope so.
But if anybody got a question or comment for Carlos or myself, feel free to hit us up. Right now, you can do it live, and I'll be sure to address it. What would you say are some of the struggles? So we talked about the victories, right? Like some of the things that you celebrate and give glory to God for. What are some of the biggest struggles that you can say as a shop owner, as a Christian, barbershop, that environment? Like, what do you think is one of the biggest struggles for you?
Trying to keep a balance in the shop.
Okay. And what do you mean balance? Like what?
It's just overall, man. Just you're dealing with, aside from my own personality, you're dealing with 7 other personalities. Mm-hmm. And thank God I got like a couple believers in there as well too. And then I got a good team, bro, all around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Believers or not, I got a great team that can cut hair. And sometimes I got to remember that we all have different standards and we all have different goals in life.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want better for them.
Yeah.
And you want them to succeed, and you actually know some of the roads that you've taken that can help them get to where
definitely.
I think they should be at, because I see the better in them.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're walking at a different pace.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're not walking, but they're walking at a different pace.
Or they don't want to go down that route.
Or they don't want to go down that route.
Or they want to find out the hard way, like some of our teenagers.
Yeah. So that's some of the things that I see, and just to try to have the patience to have a balance.
Yeah.
Where you don't want to over spiritualize a business, and then at the same time you don't want to compromise in a sense where it's like, bro, like
that's not what I believe.
at the end of the day, some of these barbers, they come and they go.
Yeah.
God opens up the doors to come in, and God opens up doors so they can go and serve somewhere else and use their talent somewhere else, and it's gonna happen. And it's how to keep the balance where you got to make sure there's boundaries, but at the same time, those boundaries ain't so narrow where it's like, bro, I can't even work here.
Yeah.
I can't come in here and just have a great time.
And I think that's a really delicate balance. I think that's like a gray area, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, how much do you want to be a Christian to them to impact them, but at the same time, how much do you not want to be a Christian? I don't mean that in a negative sense, like you're compromising beliefs, right? But so that there will be that amicability, that trust, that confidence, that they will trust you, know that you have like their best interests at heart. And then you hit them with truth, not worldly truth, not culture, but gospel truth, you know?
No, yeah. So it's just it's at the end of the day, is how do you really care for them?
Yeah.
Do you really care for what they're going through, where they're at in their life, what stage, and how to be able to, in a sense, shepherd them.
So you go shepherd them regardless because they're in your house, right?
Yeah.
And I mean like your business.
Yep. Yeah. So it's just I think that's one of the most challenging things, dealing with different personalities, different walks of lives, different worldviews, different philosophies.
And how long have you been doing it for now?
Man, for 2.5 years.
2.5
3.
years. Dang.
3. I mean, dealing with it, it's been since obviously when I became a believer.
Yeah.
Because your whole philosophy, your whole worldview changes.
Yeah.
I mean, not one day to another, but you see things differently now.
Mm-hmm.
So in the environment that I was in at work, it's no different. The challenges are still going to be there. You're still going to have to deal with different people's perspective, point of view. And but now it's different because I'm actually the one that's the face of this business.
At the end, it all comes back to you.
It does.
Everything. Yeah.
So whatever's being played on TV, at the end of the day, it's like, well, who's the owner?
Yeah.
Why is my kid hearing that, or why is my kid listening to
and
this?
I think that's so important, bro. I think it's so important that I don't think some people think about those things.
Yeah.
So when I was before, like when you said you met me back in the days, like I used to take my kid with me everywhere. And I have dope on me, guns on me. Like I used to take Diego, bro, who's taller than both of us now. You know what I mean? To preschool in Bell Gardens, and I'd be heated. Yeah. I'd go to the mall, Stonewood, like heated everywhere I went. That's the exam. My kids would see me. But now my kids see me going up in the pulpit preaching. Now my granddaughter. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to know that at the end of the day it all comes back. I mean, like I have the responsibility first to shepherd my marriage and my family, my home, right? Now my church and my community, and even friendships, because not all my friends are believers.
Yeah.
Like not all my friends are believers, and I let them know that I love them and care about them every chance I get. Maybe not as often, but I can't be in a Christian bubble. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things I appreciate about you and your, like the platform God has given you, that's not a Christian bubble.
Not at all.
It's more of a tension of knowing how to balance it all, like you said.
Yeah. No, it's not a Christian bubble, and it's never been. And that's been very challenging, but it has groomed me to be able to understand just people who are not in those circles.
Yeah. And how about your marriage? What does your marriage look like, being married, having kids, a newborn, a business, being an elder or elder candidate at your church plant?
Elder in training. Elder candidate. Elder that's supposed to take his ordination test soon.
How soon?
By the end of this year, or should be in a couple months.
Okay, cool.
And
cool.
Elder who has preached already.
Yeah.
So my marriage. Man, where do I start?
How do you do it?
How do I do what?
How do you maintain your marriage? Keep your wife happy, love her.
It's the most important thing.
Yeah.
The most important thing before my business, before anything that has to do with eldership, or anything that has to do in the church. And
your first ministry.
Yeah, it's my wife's my first ministry. My kids is my first ministry, and we have numerous conversations of just the whole eldership process, the whole barbershop.
Yeah.
And time spent where and how. So for me, it's my priority.
Amen.
So my marriage, I can honestly say here that our marriage has flourished and it's growing.
Amen.
And we do have problems, we do have struggles, but
and it's always your fault. If your wife's watching, I bet you this saying, it's his fault. I got your back.
It is. 99% of the
99% of the time.
And so I love my wife, man. I respect my wife. Yeah, we don't have, and I'm careful to say this because the enemy hears.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he's,
Oh, look at what he said the other day.
Yeah. But we don't have issues in the sense where when you walk into our home, that, and I've been told this before, and praise God for this, that they can smell the aroma of peace.
Amen.
And a non-believer told me this.
Yeah.
And I sat there. We had a birthday party. No, I think it was our baby shower.
Okay.
And he walked in and was like, cuando entro aquí me dice, se siente relajado uno.
Yeah.
Se siente que como que hay paz.
And for our non-Spanish speaking friends, he's saying that when somebody walked into his house, they said that there's a smell or a sense of peace here in this home, right?
Yep. So it was very encouraging for a non-believer to tell me that.
Yeah.
Because believers will be more encouraging.
Yeah, hype you up.
You know what I mean. So for me, those words there were actual, just a testimony, and it was encouraging. That is like, wow, thank you, appreciate, glory to God, thank you, and continue to keep our marriage.
Yeah.
Continue to keep our marriage.
And how about your kids? How do you do it with your kids to raise them in the faith? And I know your kids are still relatively small, but what have you done or are doing or plan to implement in order to be able to do just that?
Just be a Christ-like example in the home at all times.
I heard somebody told me that one of the most Christian things we can do as a father is to love our kids' mother well.
Oh, yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like if we love if we love their mom well, right? Like half the battle is won already because we're doing it in the love of Christ, not you know what I mean? Not in the flesh.
Yeah. That's where I was going next. To love my wife and show her respect and show her that she is loved, she's cared for, and that she's a priority. She's a priority even before the kids, because I know most cultures,
kids get up and leave.
Yeah, the kids are the main thing. Kids are the main thing. Everything revolves around the kids, and having kids is work, and it takes up a lot of our time.
Yeah, but let me intrude real quick for a second. I know believers, bro, where they have little gods.
Yeah.
And their kids are their gods.
Yeah.
Their kids will keep them from going to church. Their kids will keep them from serving church. Their kids will keep them from everything. It's always the kids. Like, kid can't even walk in. The kids use an excuse for everything.
Yeah. Being a parent is a lot of work, but at the end of the day, we don't forget about who me and my wife are, because our kids are only here for a moment and they're gonna leave. And when they leave, I don't want to turn around and look at my wife and be like, well, that was just the mother of my children.
And she'll be like, who is you?
Well, my kids ain't here no more.
Yeah. And
I know her just as the mother of my children.
Yeah.
So who is she?
Yeah.
No, I don't want that. I want to turn around and be like, that's my wife.
Yeah.
These kids are gone, but, she's no longer their, she's their mother still, always going to be their mother, but she's mine now completely.
Completely. Get out of my house.
Yeah. So, just to turn around and look at her, and that's my wife whom I married and who I fell in love with before our children, and who I still love after. So, that's how we do it.
So let's talk about how you came to faith.
Okay.
Like, people know I came to faith in a prison cell.
Yeah.
My wife became a believer in the midst of when I was on the run in Mexico. You know what I mean? I was a whole different identity. LA's most wanted.
Yeah.
Come back, want to give my kids like the American dream. Get busted again, get back in the same old lifestyle. That's probably about the time that you and I had met.
Yeah.
And one of the times I'm in jail, my wife becomes a Christian. She starts hanging out with these whack job Christians. You know what I mean? Like, they're always smiling. They're up in my house eating all my dang food. And I always thought that they were laughing at me because they always had a smile on their face. And I come to find out later, it was like the joy of the Lord. You know what I mean? But I come to faith in a prison cell. My wife's been praying for me, and I come out just like heated on fire, bro, for Jesus, But by the time I get out, she's off because the church did her dirty.
Yeah.
Like the church, like you figure, like the dad's not in the picture because I was in prison. You would figure that the church would treat her like an orphan, and my kids like widow, and my kids like orphans. You know what I'm saying? Because the dad wasn't around. But they actually gave her more problems to the point to where she actually walked away from the church. And then when I get out, like we had to get to know each other again. Like I had to court her and date her and like win her all over again.
Yeah.
So for me, it was in a prison cell in the midst of my hardship. How Christ like got a hold of me. How did it happen for you? Because you don't find many young kids your age come from like a community where we grew up, a traditional Roman Catholic, and end up like in a Reformed or Calvinist church?
Yeah. So to piggyback real quick on that, you know how you have to get to know your wife all over again?
Yeah.
It's pretty much what me and my wife had to do.
As Christians.
Yeah, because I met her when none of us, I mean, she says she was backsliding, which I think so. But I wasn't a believer. So
you guys met when she was a backsliding Christian and you weren't a believer yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the way I came to Christ was, I think my brother came to Christ first.
Okay.
And he will try to, you know, talk to me about the scriptures, talk to me about the gospel, but to be quite honest with you, it's a prime example of when they tell you and you don't hear.
Yeah. When
they try to show you, you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember anything.
I think I heard Jesus talking about that.
Yeah, right, somewhere. So I don't remember anything, but I do remember me giving him a hard time.
Yeah.
Clowning him. He would walk through the living room with his Bible.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. You know, ahí vas con tu Biblia.
Yeah.
So, you know, only if they knew who you were, and just, you know, just giving him a hard time. And at this time, I was already with my wife. We weren't married. We had Dominic already, and my wife just kept telling me, hey, babe, you know, I want to go back to church.
Yeah.
I want to go back to church. And she will always tell me, I want to go back to church. I'm like, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Like I'm not telling you not to believe. I'm not telling you. Yeah, I'm not telling you not to go. But just don't become like those Christians.
Yeah, the weirdo Christians.
Don't get sold out.
Yeah.
Don't get sold out. Just go and come back.
Become a fanatic.
Yeah, go and come back.
Yeah.
And so I stopped cutting hair for a while. I went back to doing mortgages.
Okay.
And I was playing a whole lot of golf. And I met this dude at a mixer. And in this mixer, we just started exchanging what we did for you know those business mixers where you're just
promoting yourself or your business.
What's that called? Networking.
Yeah.
Networking. I met this dude by the name of Art Rios, which shout out to him, a buddy of mine, and he got my number. We exchanged numbers, and he kept blowing me up. That he wanted to meet with me. He wanted to introduce me to this business opportunity. I thought it was a multi-level marketing, but he actually wanted to show me some other thing. And he kept blowing me up. Finished a round of golf. I was gonna go eat Chipotle over in Downey.
Okay.
And I just answered his phone call, like, you know what, meet me there. I'm about to eat lunch. I was like, I'm gonna eat lunch and just kill this, this bird with these two birds with one stone. Met him. Talked to me about this business opportunity that had nothing to do with what I was doing and had no interest in. But at the end of the appointment, he's like, can I ask you one more question? I was like, sure. He just told me, what do you think you're going to end up when you die?
Ooh, hit you with like great comfort stuff?
Yeah, the way of the master.
Yeah,
the way of the master. With a little bit of, I'll say it at the end right now.
All right.
Hit me with the way of the master style. Where am I going to end up? I told him that I was going to end up in heaven. He asked me why.
Because you're a good person.
I'm
such a good person.
Yeah, I don't do no harm. I don't rape. I don't. You start naming all these. The worst things that humanity can do.
Yeah.
And you start setting that line, just below you, where you're the standard.
To make sure we stay above.
Of course,
right?
Yeah, of course. Just like everyone else. And he told me, well, what makes you think it works that way?
Yeah.
And he goes, I don't know. I really don't know. And he just hit me with the gospel. He told me who Christ was. He told me who I was in his eyes. He told me where I can be. And when he was giving me the gospel of Christ, of what he came and did for me, and how I can be redeemed by his atonement, all I kept saying to myself is true. That is true.
Yeah. That
is true. Not in a sense where like I believe it, but in a sense where it's like for some reason I kept saying that is the only way God who is righteous, a God who is holy, and a God who is just can forgive someone like myself.
Yeah.
And I just said, that is true.
That's dope.
And he asked me at the end, he goes, would you like to know God? And I was like, who wouldn't?
Yeah.
Right? If he even exists, who wouldn't? And he goes, well, then give me your hand. Let's pray. And
I was like, got you.
Bro, we're in Chipotle.
Yeah.
I'm in Downey. I've been cutting hair here for the past 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
You want me to just extend my hand to you and pray in front of all these people? I eat here regularly.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to leave him with his hand out extended, so I gave him his hand and I closed my eyes, and it was the most embarrassing thing ever.
Yeah.
But he just started praying, and he started saying that, that if I had repented of my sins and received Christ, that I can be forgiven. And we prayed, and I walked away, and he just told me, listen, man, if you die today, if you were genuine, you'll be in heaven with your Father.
Wow.
All right, cool, bro. Thanks. See ya. And I just got in my truck, and I was like,
dang, that was embarrassing.
What just happened? No, that's the first thing. What just happened?
Yeah.
So I drive home, and I get to my house, and my wife's like coming down from the second floor, and she's just like, how's your appointment? And the first thing I said, I think God's calling me. And she turned around like it was The Exorcist, bro. Like,
what the what?
Her neck just broke, bro. She's like, what? Yeah, I think God's calling me. And he goes, what happened? So and so, blah blah. This happened. And then she goes, well, good, because I told your brother we were going to church this weekend with him. And I was like, good, great.
God's sovereignty, huh?
Yep. So we ended up going to church, man, and ever since I haven't stopped. Just
wow.
I mean, I wrestled with with the whole fact of what was I doing? Was I really here for Christ? Was I really here because I made an emotional decision?
Yeah.
But it wasn't until like the 6-month mark of my walk where I started wrestling with Calvinism and Arminianism.
Yeah.
And I started understanding, the sovereignty of God, just everything that had to do with Him drawing us and bringing us to faith.
Yeah.
And then that's when I realized that, no, this wasn't me. This is something that He had.
It's funny because that's a dope story, bro. It's funny because I was talking. So I'm not gonna say names or what cities, but I got a homie that's Calvary Chapel, and love him to death, right? And I've seen through our relationship, and it's not because of me, so I'm not taking no credit for that, right? But just how God sovereignly brings people together and talks to us and draws us in to where He's like, hey man, this Reformed theology stuff is making sense, Yeah. And I got a dude from a Praise Chapel.
All right.
The same thing, bro. And not to make an idol out of Reformed theology, right? But it just makes the most sense, man, when you read the Bible in its totality from cover to cover. Shout out to the homie Nate Wood. Nate, woo. How do you know Nate? I know how you know Nate.
Who is that guy?
I know how you know Nate.
Who is that guy?
But Nate says...
He must be a pastor somewhere.
Yeah, Nate is saying to talk about how you use your home as a place of hospitality.
Oh. Why you gotta do that for, Nate?
Keep it brief. I mean, just give us an example. You don't have to don't pat yourself on the back or pop your collar, but just give us an example or two of how you've used your home as a place of hospitality.
Yeah, so that's funny. So Nate he's a pastor at Reach Fellowship. He just got installed not too long ago. So congratulations. Been walking with this guy for quite some minute. Awesome guy, man. Really genuinely loves the Lord, and he genuinely loves people.
Amen. I agree.
Loves people, man. And he's in the hard remote places where people don't want to go.
And can I add something?
Yeah.
By choice.
Definitely
by choice, because he and his wife choose to be there.
Choose. Yeah, he chooses to be there. He's this white guy playing basketball.
Like white guy.
Like literally. Like,
sorry, Nate.
Like Nashville. You know what I mean? No reason to be playing basketball, in the hood.
But he is.
Yeah. And he's faithful.
Yeah.
And he's faithful. So.
You got 2 babies now, a newborn.
2 babies. Yeah. Amara.
Yeah.
Johanna.
Yeah.
Johanna Kim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his wife, Christina. Just faithful members in our church. And the reason why he says hospitality is because when he first initiated to church plant, to join the church plant, he ended up staying at my house. I think for like a week, or something like that. So yeah, we had him in our home. And that's we use our home. We use our home for the body, man. We use our home for the people.
You know the homie DJ, right?
Yeah, DJ. Yeah.
DJ said he said, ask him why he cuts my hair like one of those dudes with a tiki torch.
That's because you like it. I always ask him same thing. Yeah, same thing.
How much money you got? I'm gonna preach at his church on Sunday, bro.
Oh, you are?
How much money you got? And I could just pop out with some cake or something, do some crazy stuff at his church. I'm just kidding, DJ. I'm just kidding, bro. But yeah, it's funny how God brings us all together with same circle of people, different backgrounds, different walks of life. My friend Nancy over in Texas, she says so cool and just hand clapping the homie Sal Sanchez. He's an awesome dude. I love him to death, bro. He said powerful testimony. I'm grateful for you, bro. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for your ministry, for how you're leading. Grateful that God saw it fit to reconnect our lives again to where I remember now. Right? Yeah. I don't have stuff blocked out. Last night, my wife and I were out with the homie Chris Brosset and his wife Jennifer. She was like, they were asking questions about like how we met, how we came to faith and stuff like that. And she was telling them about, my daughter Natalia, my youngest, my 13-year-old. And she was saying how there was, she would talk about stories, and I promise you, bro, like, I black out. Like, there's chunks of my life where I can't remember.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, and it's not because I was so high on dope, well, maybe a little bit of that too, but it's just they were like really traumatic experiences that I know they happened, but I can't remember. Man. So I'm grateful that you and I connected again. I'm able to remember this stuff.
Yeah.
So what's up with school? I remember we've talked a lot about you going to school, not going to school, maybe yes, maybe no. Like, what does that look like?
Still up in the air, man.
Still up in the air? Okay.
Yeah, still up in the air. I want to. Yeah. But there's priorities, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
For sure.
I don't want to put my wife and my kids in this predicament where.
Oh, and it will, believe me.
Yeah, it will.
It will.
I mean, I've seen some people that and man, big ups to them, man, the way they do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
I don't think I can do it right now with a newborn and then a toddler.
Yeah.
And then my son's a baseball player, man.
Yeah. And he's a good baseball player.
Yeah, and he's passionate about it. He's pretty good. He loves playing. He don't stop playing, and I need to be there for him as his father. I mean, I need to give him the opportunities that I never had.
Yeah.
And as far as he wants to.
That's dope.
So, I don't know.
I've got an announcement I'm going to make related to baseball, but I'm not going to make it in this podcast. I'll probably make it in the next one. So y'all can just chew on that for a minute.
Yeah, but y'all can be praying so I can be his intern.
And you'll hear about that at the appropriate time. But for now, just hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. Is there anything you want to share with whoever's listening or watching right now before we color up? Because I know you got to get back to the shop, and I want to be mindful of time.
Yeah. What can I share?
If you want to, don't feel compelled that you got to make something up either. But if there's something you want to share about you, about your faith, about your family, about your business, I'll give you a chance to give a shout out to your business and to your church again before we close it out.
Yeah. No. I think one thing that I will share is that. That wherever you're at, whatever walk, you're at, whether you believe or not, that you would trust God, trust the scriptures, trust Christ, and open your eyes and look around. There's people around you that genuinely care about you, and I'm sure that through God's sovereignty, there's people there that are ready to give you the love of Christ. Yeah, wherever you're at. Don't matter where you're at. And
one thing I want to share to any of my friends or friends of Carlos or just people watching, or you came across this live podcast episode, or if you're listening to it on iTunes, is that God is righteous, God is holy, and because of man's sin, we are separated from God, and we are under His wrath. We are like criminals against God, right?
Yep.
But God loves us so much that He created a path for us to be saved. And that's Christ entering the world, right? Being born a man, being tempted in every way we were, yet He never sinned. He willingly went to the cross to die in our place so that if any of us place our faith in Him, we'd be saved, right? Yeah. And Christ died, Christ resurrected. And because of that, like, we have an opportunity to be saved. Like, that's the gospel. Yeah. That's what it is in a nutshell. And if Carlos can have been saved through a friend who set you up or not set you up, with a business proposition that had nothing to do with you, yet he shared the gospel and invited you to believe.
I don't know if it was a setup, because he's very passionate about business as well too. Well,
I don't mean set up in a bad way. The dude made an appointment.
He's an evangelist,
knowing right, and as we all should, knowing that he was gonna share Christ with you at the end.
Oh yeah.
I think of how God sovereignly allowed me to make so many stupid decisions since the age of 13 to the age of 35. Right? He let me do all the stupid stuff that I did, but then He brought it all back and redeemed it unto Himself. Like He reconciled it and He redeemed it all for His glory. You know what I'm saying? So friends, don't ever think that you're so far off that God can't save you. Don't ever think that you've made way too many mistakes that God can't forgive you. Don't think you are so far off that you won't be able to find your way home.
That's right.
Because God won't let it, you know?
Prime example.
Right?
Right here.
if you're anywhere near the Bellflower area, like downtown Bellflower.
Yeah, it's on Bellflower Boulevard. Cross street is Oak. No, it's between Oak where Steel Craft is at, and then it's Flower Street.
Okay, and you're open what days? 7 days a week?
We're open 6 days a week.
Monday through Saturday? And why are you closed for Sunday?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, baby. Booyah!
Chick-fil-A. No, we just that's the day the shop gets clean.
It's dope.
And I want our barbers to just go out, I worked at shops where I had to work Sunday, and I hated working Sunday, whether I was going to church or not, or whether I was a believer or not. I just want them to have that freedom to be able to enjoy a Saturday evening, and then not having to worry to come to work on Sunday. And just
hopefully take their behinds to church. Hopefully.
Yeah, that's the intention.
And if anybody is in the North Long Beach area, where can they find your church services at Reach Fellowship?
You can find us at Jordan High School.
Okay.
And that's where Reach Fellowship meets, and we meet at 10.
So if anybody is in the Bellflower area, stop by by downtown Bellflower, right?
Yeah.
Stop by Identity Barbershop. And why Identity? Before we go, why Identity?
Because we have 8 barbers that can cut hair really, really good.
I mean, the name.
Oh, Identity. How did the name came about?
Yeah.
Well,
quick 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah, the name is Identity. Well, because everything we do, it has 2 parts to it. Like my Instagram name. Mm-hmm. One part of Identity Barbershop is that everyone goes in there and gets an identity.
Okay.
Whatever haircut you have,
all right.
It's your identity. It's the way you want to look and present yourself. And at the other side of it is the ministry side of it, that
our identity in Christ.
We're trying to point people to the true image bearers of God, identity in Christ Jesus. And then my Instagram name is Go Celos.
At
GOSEELOS, Go Celos. And one part is come see me when you need a haircut, Go Celos.
Yeah.
And the other part of it is Matthew chapter 28:18. Go, therefore go Celos. Go out to the nations.
Amen.
So,
Amen.
Yep.
So if you're anywhere near the downtown Bellflower area, stop by Identity Barbershop to get a haircut, make an appointment. Walk-ins welcome. If you're anywhere near the North Long Beach area,
download our app.
Download the app?
Yeah, download the app.
Where do they find the app at?
Just go to your app store and put Identity Barbershop, and you can book an appointment with any of our 8 barbers.
Damn, y'all getting fancy up in here, bro.
It's convenient.
And you can even not have hair like me and still go and make an appointment.
Everyone's welcome
to get your beard.
Men and women.
Right?
Men and
women.
kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amen. And if you're in the North Long Beach area, make sure you stop by Reach Fellowship. They meet at Jordan High School Sundays at 10:30 a.m.
10:30 a.m.
10:30 a.m. And if you're in the Lynwood, Compton, and Watts area, stop by RCLA, 3801 Cortlandt Street in the city of Lynwood, Sundays at 12 noon. Until then, this is Hood Grace Podcast. Before we sign out, I haven't done a podcast in about a month. I'm currently on sabbatical from the church, so this is towing the line, right? But for me, it's therapeutic.
Nah, we're just 2 homies kicking it.
Yeah, and talking about the Lord Jesus. So until then, this is Hood Grace. Peace.